Madam Web was just released, and surprisingly enough, and I never thought I would say this. This movie was worse than Morbius. Madam Web was just released, and honestly, this was really bad. This is pretty terrible. That's exactly what we thought it was going to be. We thought it was going to be bad from the beginning. One popular question we ask a lot is why do these actors sign on to these roles? Dakota Johnson actually addressed this like very recently is this wasn't the movie she signed on to do. She has kind of just refused to see the movie because it's not what she wanted. And it's if that's not a sign that it's bad, that's pretty bad if your own lead actress doesn't want to see the movie because it's not what she wanted to film. But there was very little redeeming about this movie. It maybe had like one or two good scenes, cool little sequences, but that was pretty much about it.
See, when an actress or an actor says shit like that in this day and age, I find that really hard to believe. Either you're a complete moron
Well,
or the people around you are complete idiots. But if
well, the
you don't,
script like that she read when she got on was completely different than the one that actually came out.
yeah, but see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you sign a contract, right? So
Yeah.
the people behind you, your legal team, your agent, that means they're complete idiots because they can
Oh,
fight
good
for
job.
certain things. Like, hey, this is not the obviously when the on the day of filming, you could be like, hey, this is not what I read. This is I'm not doing this. My contract says this. And they have to, oblige by the contract. So
Yeah.
when I hear an actor or an actress say stuff like that, I'm like,
Could
I
have just
mean,
paid
maybe
her
that's
more.
just,
Could have just paid her more.
yeah, they could have, but then she could have said that. I have seen her on most of the interviews, and yeah, she doesn't seem like she just wants to be done with this. I know they
Yeah,
get paid
don't
for
blame her.
promoting these films, so I don't blame her either. As always, we have a little chat before this. I knew this was going to be a shit fest.
Oh
I
yeah.
absolutely knew this was going to be a shit fest. The only thing redeemable about this movie is how hot Sydney Sweeney is. I know I've said it on other videos where all I've ever seen her do is show her shit. Now I'm going to say something that's going to tick some Sydney Sweeney fans off. The only reason why she's not naked in this movie is because it's rated PG-13. I would die on this hill. I bet you guys money. If this was a rated R movie, the director somehow, somewhere would have found a way to squeeze in a nude scene. At the very least, a butt cheek. The only reason why it's not is because it's rated PG-13 and they can't do it. But, that having said that, and I'm not talking about her acting because I still haven't ever seen anything in that she's in that pushes her to be a good actress. She's in there, she's eye candy. You can't, whether you like the girl or
Yeah.
not, you can't deny that she's just gorgeous to look, and she looks phenomenal in the spider suit. Other than that, this movie's complete and utter garbage. The villain, that
Oh
guy, he's
God.
the only person in this movie that to me struck me as that perhaps maybe this dude could be a good actor in a good movie with a good script.
Yeah.
Here,
He's just a bit
this,
over the top.
and first of all, this is the most it's like if they read the Terminator script and they were like, that's, yeah, let's,
100%.
it's essentially the Spider Girls, they're all three of them are John Connor.
Yeah.
And
Remember?
and and this is the fucking T-800 coming after them to stop them from becoming what they could be in the future. This shit is so, like I said, this it's all over the place. Dakota Johnson in the movie, you can tell the
Oh,
lines she doesn't even try because at
no, the
some point
acting's
she's just like,
terrible.
this is horrible. The lines come across as cheesy, and you got to remember this is coming from me, who I'm a big Power Ranger fan, the original. That's
Yeah.
as cheesy as it could get. Here's just cringy. It's the dynamic, the bond between these chicks not there. Um,
Super
Mercedes, what's her
forced.
name, that plays one of these characters? And she'll be fine. She's playing Hawkgirl next year in James Gunn's fucking Superman Legacy. She's not batting an eye at this shit.
Yeah, there's this movie has pretty terrible acting. And honestly, Edward and I had a bad pitch for this movie earlier, and I kind of wish they went with our terrible pitch instead of this, because then at least it would have been better. But just a long list of things that went wrong. The acting was bad. The directing was terrible. Script wasn't great. CGI was pretty laughable. And this is a prime example is why sometimes comic book accurate suits stay on the page. Because, oh God, did Madam Web's suit at the end look terrible. Also, okay, the minor spoilers. If you don't know anything about the character or you just don't care, just it's not big of a deal. But in the comics, the character is blind and in a wheelchair. Why the hell was she in a wheelchair in this movie? She wasn't damaged in any way, right? Do you know? Like there was no reason for her to be in a wheelchair. It was never addressed, and it was didn't make any sense whatsoever. It was
I never want to watch this movie ever fucking again. Even with Sydney Sweeney being as good, and she is right now, she is one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood. No, this girl looks gorgeous, dolled up, or in jeans with no makeup on and a t-shirt walking across the damn street. Even that won't get me to
yes.
watch this fucking movie again. It's just you.
Everything
You
was
guys want to see
forced.
Madam Web? Go back and go on Disney Plus and watch the '90s animated Spider-Man series. There you go.
Yeah.
You don't need to watch this shit.
Everything was just forced. It was terrible acting. Somehow a spider lived for like 30 years. Oh yeah, this the movie's also riddled with plot holes. It makes zero sense.
It's all over the fucking
It's
place.
very much apparent that they're making these movies not to make money, but just so they can keep the rights, write it off as a loss for their taxes, and move on. There's no reason for them to
That
make
is
these movies.
absolutely why they keep pumping these fucking things
It's
out. If you guys don't
so
know, it's so that
bad.
the rights don't revert back to Marvel. And
Yeah.
we had a friend that asked us. They're like, "Yeah, but they're not making any money out of it. Tax write-off."
Tax write-off, the longer they hold out, the more desperate Marvel can become. There's a lot of different variables. It's just
And
never see this movie.
it's not Sony's fault. It's not like Sony makes shit movies. Sony makes some solid movies. These are the same dudes that gave us Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse. It's just when it comes to their live action shit, it is, I guess it's Peter Parker and the rest, anything else they try is they need to stop with this whole
Spider-Verse
Spider
bullshit.
Spider-Verse Spider-Man villain shit. It
It
just
doesn't work.
no one can, and I'm telling you right now, Craven is gonna blow ass.
Yep. That's the next one. Comes out October. It's gonna be terrible. So then I guess my final question, because currently Rebel Moon is probably the worst movie we've reviewed on this channel. So Edward, is this worse than Rebel Moon?
Yes, this is fucking horrible.
Is it
I
worse
would
than
rather,
Argyle as well?
yeah, I would rather watch. You know what? I would rather marathon fucking Rebel Moon followed by Argyle than to God this fucking movie. So, I knew you were gonna ask that, and yes, the answer is 100. This fucking thing is horrible, man. I would rather. I can't. You know what? I can't wait for Rebel Moon director's cut compared to this piece of shit.
4 hours. Let's
Better than I
yippee.
guarantee all 4 hours is better than this piece of shit. This movie's it's not even 2 hours.
It's an
It felt
hour
like
47. It was
it
oh
it felt like fucking three.
yeah, it was long.
I
It
was
was bad.
15 minutes into this movie and I was like, fuck.
If you guys braved the movie theaters and went to see Madam Web, let us know what you guys thought about it in the comics. If you didn't, don't. And tell us how lucky you are that you didn't
Oh,
go see it.
there was a dude at the
Oh,
theater with me, and when I was walking out, he was telling his girlfriend, and I gave him a dirty look. He just looked at me like I was nuts. He was telling his girlfriend, he's like, this fucking shit was amazing. I was like,
the
fucking movie
woman,
did you watch?
the woman that sat next to me in the theater was out like a light
I don't
20
blame
minutes
her.
in. I was so jealous. It was, don't watch it. Moral of the
Yeah.
story, end of video. Don't watch it. That's it.